Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. Um, Today is the day. Everyone is at their poll station, um, waiting to make a decision on who they are voting for. So, all that hard work and all that those promises we've been listening to and hearing, we're about to find out if the people really believe in the so-called "vote for me, I'll lead you." This is the list of everyone who's asking you to vote for. But really, the question is, are you guys really voting today? And if you are going to vote, who are you going to be voting for? Because we'll be just doing a live stream covering the whole event of elections. Look at the list of parties that needs to be voted for. Long, long list. You have Alliance of Citizens for Change. Never heard of it. Allied Movement for Change, Azania's People Organization, the ANC. There is Mmusi Maimane Bosa, Citizens. Never heard of this also. There is COPE, Siasa, DA, Democratic Liberal Congress. Some of these parties, the EFF, I'm sure many people are really waiting to be voting for the EFF. ELFSA, Economic Liberators Forum South Africa. F4SSD, some of these political parties. Forum for Service Delivery. I mean, how do you take such a party serious when they are saying forum and that four is number four? Ah, come on, man. It's like it's a chat for young people, for kids. Let's see. Where were we? Free Democrats. I've never heard of this also. Good. Is Good still alive? I hope to see what they're going to achieve this time. Probably is going to be less than what they did. I hope to see Good coming back to Parliament. But honestly, last time they didn't even do anything. They used their votes to join in with the ANC. That's why they gave Miss Delile a position in the cabinet because they wanted to work with her. But this time, I really don't know if she really has a space in politics. But if she comes back, maybe she would be a renewed Good. Hope for South Africa. I've never heard of this also. The IFP, a renewed IFP. The late Buthelezi was the leader for so many years, and now Tlhabisa, Velinkosi Tlhabisa is the new leader. So let's see how they are going to do without the image of Buthelezi, because he was the sole leader of that party for so many years, and now it has been turned. There is a new leader, as the previous one has just passed, and National Colored Congress. Okay, I would guess this is a party for colors. And you have the NFP, National Freedom Party. Used to be a game changer, this one in KZN. And when time went, they started losing. I think they started having an alliance with the ANC. That's when they became a shadow of themselves. And you have, what is it? NCCM, Northern Cape Communities Movement. Wow. Organic Humanity Movement, PAC, the PA. I'm sure Gayton McKenzie will be getting a lot of votes this time. There's a lot of noise that he's making, and people are really listening to him. The PMCRP, Rise Mzansi, that's another party that's really gonna have votes. Let's see. Sizwe Uma Nation, son. South African Rainbow Alliance. This is the party that broke away from COPE, some of the members, and I think they're really taking chances. The SARA, they're taking a lot of chances, but we'll see how people receive them. And MK Mkondo Wesizwe, the Jacob Zuma. I mean, how does it feel to see that finally Jacob Zuma is back on the ballot paper? And this time in green colors, he says, vote for me. Um, I mean, the biggest party so far is ANC, EFF, the DA, and MK. Those are the ones making noise. Those are the ones that surely people are going around voting for them. I'm sure the voting will begin later on when they're done with voting. And then the counting will begin once they're done with voting later on. Uh, Hopefully, by the time we wake up tomorrow, we'll be getting a percentage of how many has been voted so far and what are the percentage and who's leading. You know, ANC will always be leading, but this time they're giving them run for their money. Just trying to tweet the link to the video. So yes, as where were we? The MK, UAT, UDM. I mean, UDM has been around for some time now. It's probably about time UDM decide that if they fail this time, it's no longer a party. They must just deregister that party. And VF Plus, this is another game changer. The Bures, the Afrikaners are serious. They are not playing games. Their whole purpose is to vote for the VF and make sure that they vote in numbers. I mean, if you really look at it, they are different from how the black people are going out in masses. Afrikaners, almost 90% of them are voting. And you'd be shocked to go around and hear that some of our people are saying that they are not voting because they feel like the government is not doing anything for them, while other races are making sure that they go out in numbers. And next thing they complain about changes in South Africa. And you find that if they really went in numbers instead of sitting home, maybe there would have been change in South Africa. Another party that really let me down because I thought they were serious, Shiluva. I thought maybe the name Shiluva was just a disappointment because it is limiting their reach. If they really went for a name that is going to cover everyone, maybe it would have worked. But they didn't have that much buzz. Abantu Bachu Congress, some of these parties that come around, able leaders, able leadership is not going to be able to do it this one. Action Alliance Development Party, and then you have Action SA. This is another big political party, especially in Gauteng. Action SA is going to do well in Gauteng. Remember, Gauteng is going to be shared. And the people that are going to share Gauteng are the big parties. So don't count out the Action SA because they're definitely going to make it. Alliance Restoration Alliance. Sorry, Africa Restoration Alliance. The names these people choose. African Christian Democratic Party. If ACDP doesn't do well, or if they drop their votes this time, they must get rid of their leader. Misha must go home and sit with the grandchildren and just enjoy life. This person has been there since 1994. He's still here. They must vote him out and put another person because it seems like he's just gathering the same vote, same Christian votes. ACT, African Congress for Transformation. Um, Another one, African Content Movement, African Heart Congress. This is the party that really took a lot of votes from the ANC, African Independent Congress, AIC. These people, when the first time when they came, they just came around and we saw the name AIC. People were confused when they voted because they were like, we want to vote for ANC. But instead, they ended up voting for AIC because the only difference is the N. And if you go and look at the ANC, the colors are almost identical: black, uh, green, and yellow. Let's see. There is black, there is green, and white. So if you look at the top, you get confused. But this time, I'm sure people are more wiser. They're going to be able to look at that ballot paper and make a decision, a wise decision, and get rid of them. APC. And then there's African Movement Congress, African National Congress. These people really, it's like they just come up with a name being copycats. They don't even go and think a lot about what name they want to put. APEMO, African People's Movement, African Transformation Movement. This is another party that I feel like people should really think about it. ATM. Vuyo is the sole leader who's making sure that he's going around and showing people that we are worthy. And I've seen him in parliament. This guy has worked more than people like UDM. He has worked more than COPE. He has always been there defying and making sure that they are heard. And I believe that people should really give him a chance. Al Jama, really, what Al Jama did last election, really, they did something that we were not expecting in getting those votes. And once they got the votes, they went to rule Gauteng. They went to Gauteng, went to the city of Joburg because of this thing of coalition. They ended up getting Gauteng. Now we have a mayor there in Johannesburg, not Gauteng, but in Johannesburg. We have a mayor who is belonging to Al Jama. Every time you listen to Al Jama when they speak in parliament, they are not always anti-ANC. They are by their side. And what these guys did, nobody knew that there would be a party like Al Jama in 2019 who's going to go there and get a lot of votes as they did. And we were surprised because that was the first time we saw Al Jama. But let's see what they are going to do this time. And the thing about it is that it's only few political parties that are really getting that space and that were working and making sure that they are going to the people campaigning. If you ask me, what campaign did you see of Al Jama? I have nothing to say because I haven't seen anything from them. All Citizens Party. These are the parties who are going to get 0.1%. Anyway, on Twitter, Mmusi Maimane 18 minutes ago, they promised uh, they promised to school us, trying to fool us. He's speaking about Malema. And he has this screenshot from News 24. Malema gives EFF 5 years to build a private school or don't re-elect us. So basically, he's saying that EFF is not the party to go to. That's what I think Mmusi Maimane is trying to say to us. That EFF is full of promises and then they are not doing anything. So, guys, I know we are not many on live, but who are you guys voting for? Because here is Mmusi Maimane also speaking about the fact that they promised to rule us, but now they're fooling us. Let's see this. Kenneth Mishwe has been on the ballot paper since 1994. Correct. The trending topics. I'm sure DA is going to be trending, and they are. And actually, they're not trending because a lot of people are talking about them. They are trending because they have paid to promote their hashtag vote DA. And then number one on trending, obviously, it's election day. 2024 is our 1994. This is an EFF's slogan. I'm voting ANC. Leaders Ramaphosa. You see, and then Mmusi is leading at is at number 6, and then you have at number 8 the IEC, and also there is a MK and the ANC. Nezifefe says from Toyando, I'm going to vote the EFF. Okay, voting the EFF. Election day. Let's see what's happening. Election day. Pierre Pagati says, let's go make it work family. Your vote is your legacy. You make a difference. People are going to vote in numbers. University of Western Cape. Whatever you do not vote for ANC. I think this was in during lockdown. Look how the city of Joburg is. I mean, if we are being honest, the ANC has done a lot for us, but there's a lot of things that have been neglected. I mean, one party that we should all be looking to vote for is the party that is going to say to us that I'm going to make a change and I'm going to change things like the city of Joburg, Johannesburg, clean up these cities and make sure that people who stay there are people who are supposed to stay there, paying rent and making sure that the city attracts business again. Because if you let a city rot like Johannesburg is, it is going to be a problem for us, the people of South Africa. So the new government that we are hopefully going to vote for, the new government that we are going to be voting for, hopefully, is not just the ANC alone, the EFF alone, or the MK party alone, because it's not going to be possible. So hopefully, the parties that are going to do a coalition are going to work. But as we have seen with the city of Johannesburg, it might not be as easy as we think, because, hey, these people, when coming to power, they have difficulties leading us. Seems like people are going out in numbers to vote, which is a good thing. And young people also. I mean, I'll be going to vote myself later on. I believe that in the morning, a lot of people go out in numbers to vote. So if you really want to vote, sometimes without standing on the queue, you have to wait until people are done. I think this is victory. Last year when Julius Malema was speaking during his the EFF 10th anniversary. I had this video on YouTube. It was actually one of the most viewed videos, because when Julius Malema, sometimes when he speaks, even if you didn't want to vote for him, you might even change your decision and end up voting for him. Let's just replay that speech again, the end of the speech.
I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Run, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one.
Yeah, I had to stop it before they play that music. But this was one of the most special thing about Julius Malema. One of the best speeches I've heard from him. I mean, the one in Peter Mokaba was good, but we are in the election. But last year was all about the EFF anniversary. And Julius Malema, really, you had to admire him that day. You had to admire what he speaks about and how he does it. But now we are in the election. We are voting, as you can see now. As much as there are people who are pro Julius, there are those who are against him. PSAF Live says xenophobic South Africans are bringing back all of the EFF leader Julius Malema's insult. His love for foreigners has a negative impact at the polls. So here's this screenshot of Julius in 2019 when he said, "I won't be intimidated or blackmailed by wetting boys. Welcome home, Banner Boy. South Africa is a home for all Africans. Kill me for defending an African brother. Bloody cowards." They are bringing the screenshot back to say that as much as you want Julius Malema to be voted for, this is what the guy said. But still, are you guys voting for Julius? Are you willing to give Julius Malema your trust and say that he's getting my vote?
Cyril.
Let's see here.
With courage to just do a documentary about Cyril. Cyril didn't attend Mandela's inauguration because he was angry at Nelson for not putting him as a deputy president. Because the Oppenheimers have been touting him that he will be Mandela's deputy president. Cyril has been self-seeking, and he has been saving the Oppenheimer and the Minel family and all of them with loyalty, and not now. From the 70s, Cyril has been working with these people. Cyril went to establish a new NUM, a union of mine workers without being a mine worker. Cyril has never been a mine worker.
Julius Malema about Cyril Ramaphosa. Let's just go to the EFF account. As much as I want to play that clip, I'm just afraid to play something that's going to have consequences in terms of YouTube and copyrights. Okay, here are the voting stations. I mean, young people are there, and it's good to see young people coming in numbers. The queue is long, and that's quite good. Young people are voting. I mean, a lot of them who never had a chance to vote because of age, now they should be going out in numbers to vote. If you don't go and vote, it means who is going to be voting for you? It's only fair to go out and vote.
So we really be sure.
Here's Mmusi Maimane again. Because the artists are voting for, pledging to be voting for the ANC. And it seems like Mmusi Maimane is not happy with that because he wants the votes, and people are declaring that they are voting for the ANC. Even Shimza was saying that he's voting for the ANC. And obviously, if celebrities are going to be saying live that publicly that I'm voting for this person, it means they are going to make sure that they influence other people to vote for them. And that doesn't make Mmusi happy. Let's hear what he has to say.
Education system remains. Hey everybody, in 2023, It should truly disturb every single one of us that our education system remains a crime scene. Our children are being miseducated. The facts on the table are such that dropout is nearly at 40%. The reality is that we ask our kids to pass a subject at 30%. The facts are that we're building schools in such a way that the infrastructure cannot hold. And more worryingly, there are still children in this country who are still using pit latrines. Surely we are violating the dignity of our children. And this is something we cannot sit back. When I read recently that a school in Tembisa cost you and I, the people of this country, 82 million rands. 82 million rands went down to build a school on a swamp. And still today, 2 years old later, kids in Tembisa still don't have a school to go to. Lakeside Primary is another school. Here again, they're building schools on infrastructure that literally cannot hold for our young people. And it's obvious that all of this money is going to collected cadres, to contractors that ultimately do not build infrastructure fit for education. It is embarrassing for us to be able to say the plight of the children of South Africa still remains the same, in the sense that it's poor 29 years into our democracy. It's something we cannot live with. It's something we need to change. And I'm here to simply say to you that contractors who have been found to be corrupt in building these schools must in fact be scrapped off the contractor list. We cannot be rewarding incompetent work to build schools for our children. It breaks my heart when I see images of children going to schools where the windows are broken and the schools are falling apart. It is truly a shame. I have written to even the Premier of Gauteng and demanded an audit of the schools that are falling apart. Furthermore, we want to be clear that this tender system must change. We need people who are competent, who are able to build, so that we build the best infrastructure for our kids. Ultimately, we need an education reform. Now is the time to change how our education system works. I've been fighting so much that our kids get given the best chance. But let's give them each a voucher so they can decide where they can go to school. Let's improve the pass rate from 30% to ultimately 50%. Let's get the best teachers in the classroom, and let's make sure that what is guaranteed in the Constitution for each child, which is an education that prepares them for the future, is something we can give them. Now is the time. We cannot gamble with our kids. And as sadly as it is, our kids will inherit an education that prepares them for nothing else but unemployment. I will fight this issue, and I demand that we actually join hands and ensure that we get a government that will prepare our kids for a brighter future by an education that works better.
That is Mmusi Maimane. Really, if you look at it, there is a lot of bright young people in South Africa. I'm speaking about people like Mmusi Maimane, Julius Malema, Vuyo Zungula, and the rest of them. And it's just a shame that they cannot work together and just be part of the same political party. If they were to do that, of course, there would be a clash of egos. But if they were to work together with the sole purpose of saying that we are rebuilding South Africa, maybe, yes, maybe we wouldn't even have to think about voting the ANC or even speak about is the ANC good or not, because those people would really make a change in South Africa. I mean, you can just hear what Mmusi Maimane is saying. Really, Mmusi Maimane is speaking so well. He led the DA, and they did well when he was a leader. They got rid of him. Now here's Mmusi Maimane having formed a BOSA, promising to fix the broken promises and broken schools. I mean, it's not going to happen if he does it alone. They need to work together. But if ever there was a chance and point in life where the young people of South Africa, the young leaders, were to come together, I'm sure a lot of change would have been made in South Africa. It's just so unfair that they can't work together. They really can't, because if you look at it, Mmusi Maimane has to say something negative about Julius. Julius also would say something negative about Mmusi, all for the fact that they are competing. But just imagine if Mmusi was working with Julius. just imagine how good that would have been. Because it would have meant that these guys are providing an opportunity for people because they wouldn't want to be corrupt like the old guys of the ANC.
Henry, we must send you to another place, to Malawi. Hey! To Malawi!
As charming as Cyril Ramaphosa is, seems like Mmusi Maimane is also charming, but does charming mean a good leader? I don't think so. So Julius will be voting around 12. We expect to see him it's 9:40. So by 12, he's going to be voting, and I'm sure we are gonna get that coverage. He's going to be voting in Seshego. That's where he comes from. And one thing the EFF has to do is to give a lot of challenge there in Polokwane and become the opposition party, the second best in Limpopo, because hey, ANC is whipping them left and right. Let's hear what Julius is saying here.
Working under you. Because the reality is that, Mr. President, nothing is working under you. You are a man on top and doing nothing. And that is very irresponsible of a man to be on top and do nothing. The reality of the situation is that you went against, because the reality is that
Tongas Nomga says, I'm voting the EFF. Oh, that's good, voting the EFF. Are you not guys willing to be voting for the ANC though? Because the ANC says we are going to make a change for you, so vote for us. We are a reformed ANC, and then we are going to bring a lot of change. Okay, let's hear what the MK guy is saying.
Makathiwa nje kwi-MK ngiyavuka kuthiwa ngixoshiwe ngiyophumela obala ngisho ukuthi angihambi la ngisekhaya ke la ikhaya lokugcina leli ngaxoshwa uJuju isitopela sakhe xoshwa ulokhu njani hayi aqala ubani lapha kakhongolo sothanda uqolo wayuclick ngisayingane bangifaka amasondo kwaphinda Mndebele kaSasco ngisayimntwana nje impela bangifaka amasondo kwayikephi sengisibalela isitopela saJuju YPA ipheke yena wangibona nje ngivele ethombeni nonqamalala phela unqamalala kumina njengobaba ngavela esithombeni emini ebusuku bangena incwadi zakhala ngaxoshwa kwasho ukuthi kene mhlambe but ngokukholwa kwami I believe that everything happens for a reason in life. Everything is because of faith. We don't walk by our own selves, but circumstances, they sometimes push you into your best abilities. I genuinely believe that I'm where I supposed to be. Mangathiwa ngivuka ngixoshiwe la sengathi ukuthi hayi la sengizokholoza yosho kahle ukuthi hayi cha baba angihamba.
Bonginkosi Khanyile. You see, this one is the same as that lady, I forgot her name, who was with the ANC and wanted Zuma to go. And when Zuma went, she also left and went to Action SA. Didn't take long, and they removed her from Action SA, and now she's with another political party. I forgot her name, but sure I'll get it around. It is the same with her because these people, all they know is to keep dividing people. I mean, there's a lot of division from people like Bonginkos. They are not adding any value. All they know is to talk and changing parties. As he's saying that if MK fires him, it feels like
comrades enzana abantwana ngizawukhokhela mna because siyayidabula i-child grant from 510 to 1,020 rand because our children deserve better. Don't be lazy.
Wait, to how much?
Because siyayidabula i-child grant from 510 to 1,020 rand because our children deserve better. Don't be lazy. Please, don't be lazy. Enzani abantwana SG lingalali. When we leave here, sicela ukuthi nibe busy. Please. And I don't care whether you are poor or not. Enzani abantwana. We must multiply ourselves. We must leave legacy through our own children. They say to me, why do you say people must make children? They are poor. How are they going to feed these children? I was born to a poor family. Being born in a poor family does not mean you are going to die poor. You can change that family and make it a better family.
That's Julius Malema. And Zana Bantuan, he says, keep making those kids. We are going to take care of them. And he's promising to double the grant from 510 to 1,020. I always ask myself, where are we going to get the money? I mean, yes, double the money is good that the grants are there, but is it really possible that we're going to be giving the young children 1,000? And I hear that there are parties like the MK I saw from Penny, they were saying that they are going to be giving the elderly. So social grant is going to be 4,000. We don't even have people who get paid 4,000. There are people who are working are not even getting 3,000. But to say that the taxpayers are going to be assisting and the people are going to be getting 4,000, I feel like it's reaching. Because even if it was to be done, it would mean that tax goes up, petrol prices goes up, all these levies would have to go up so that they can assist in terms of covering this money they want to give to the people.
Hey, Malema wants to do away with borders. Hey, Malema is going to bring people here. They are going to come to South Africa. One, there are no borders in Europe. There are no borders in Europe. You can wake up in Italy and go and eat breakfast in Britain and have your lunch in Spain. No issue. They have no borders. But they say we must have borders. But let's look at this thing that they keep on saying, that when you move the borders, people are going to come to South Africa because South Africa has got more resources. That's why they're going to come here and destroy what we have. It's not true. I come from Limpopo. There's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. And Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. But the people of Limpopo have never left their homes to go to Gauteng because people always go to where there is richness. That's why they are going to leave Nigeria and come here. To come and do what? They will never come here. They've got their own beautiful homes. And even if they wanted to come, there was nothing that was going to stop them. Nothing was going to stop those people from Lesotho. Because there is no fence. This is a lie. It's a myth. It's a dream. To say we're divided by a fence is not true. There is no fence. Those people of Lesotho go to Free State to drink alcohol. It's Saturday today. Ale tapama fela in the afternoon. But well.
What are you talking about? Same thing in Swaziland and Mpumalanga. Same thing with Mozambique and Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. Why didn't those people of Mozambique move en masse to go to KwaZulu? They say to you,
Let me start it. I wasn't aware that the audio is mixed up.
hi, hey, Malema wants to do away with borders. Hey, Malema is going to bring people here. They are going to come to South Africa. One, there are no borders in Europe. There are no borders in Europe. You can wake up in Italy and go and eat breakfast in Britain and have your lunch in Spain. No issue. They have no borders. But they say we must have borders. But let's look at this thing that they keep on saying, that when you move the borders, people are going to come to South Africa because South Africa has got more resources. That's why they're going to come here and destroy what we have. It's not true. I come from Limpopo. There's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. And Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. But the people of Limpopo have never left their homes to go to Gauteng, because people always go to where there is richness. That's why they are going to leave Nigeria and come here. To come and do what? They will never come here. They've got their own beautiful homes. And even if they wanted to come, there was nothing that was going to stop them. Nothing was going to stop those people from Lesotho, because there is no fence. This is a lie. It's a myth. It's a dream to say we're divided by a fence. Is not true. There is no fence. Those people of Lesotho go to Free State to drink alcohol. It's Saturday today. Ale tapama fella in the afternoon, but what are you talking about? Same thing in Swaziland and Mpumalanga. Same thing with Mozambique and Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. Why didn't those people of Mozambique move en masse to go to KwaZulu-Natal? Because we are being told here, if you open the borders, these people will come here. There are no borders. It's a gate without a fence. Imagine in your home, more front, more front. Auna fence, marlebele gate. That's what we are. So, scientifically and practically, if those people wanted to come here, they would have been here. It's a lie that they will come in here. It's not true. There's no fence. Mashaba went to Zimbabwe border there now. And he says, yeah, Malema. He's talking absolute nonsense. He saw for himself. There is no fence. But there are still people in Zimbabwe. They didn't leave Zimbabwe to come to South Africa because there is no fence. It's not true. It's not true. But anyway, everywhere in the world, including America, it has always been built by migrant laborers.
That is Julius Malema on the issue of borders. A lot of people really do not agree with Julius Malema on the issue of borders. And hopefully they would have their mind changed if they go out to vote and think again in terms of can we really give him the vote and not just base it on the fact that he's saying this and that about borders. Are you guys still willing to be voting for Julius regardless of who says what? This was Mmusi Maimane voting in the Orange Farm. Mmusi Maimane. I think Ndlozi is one of those leaders in the EFF who I wouldn't hesitate to vote for him because he's very charismatic and it looks like he knows what he's doing. Imagine they give him the EFF gets an upper hand in Gauteng and he becomes the premier of Gauteng. Really, I think Mmusi would really do well. And that's where we are going to judge the EFF based on that alone. To say that if you don't get national and you get one province, how well are you going to govern it? If they win Gauteng, then I'm sure if they do well in Gauteng, people are not going to hesitate to vote for them. They're definitely going to pick the EFF in the coming elections. Let's hear Dr. Phumzile Mlambo Nuka. Let me not butcher these names. What is she saying?
Deputy President, you arrived here. Are you happy in terms of the processes, but also your message, particularly to women at this moment?
Well, my message to women is that they should come out and vote. Democracy is important to them. They must make sure that their voices are heard. And voting today is making sure that your voice is heard.
She almost became the female president of South Africa. But, unfortunately, the men in the ANC decided you are not going to have it. Here we have John Steenhuisen also coming to vote.
Welcome. This is the first time we do it. Well done.
He knows very well that he's not going to do well. He must just pray that some changes are made and people think in the last few minutes, people change their mind regarding the DA, because as of now, no one is really going out to vote for the DA because of what they are for. They are not there to help us. But what they want to do is to enrich those who are their handlers. I mean, they really fumbled a lot of things, especially for the black votes of recent times. Since last year, I've never had anything good coming from the DA. So if the DA loses this time, no one is going to feel sorry for them. They did it on themselves. Mmusi says John Steenhuisen, he's going to Harvard to hand in his application. It's 4:10 today. How is he going to go to Harvard when he doesn't even have matric? But I think he's being sarcastic. Anyway, Herman Mashaba also went out to make his vote, the Action SA leader.
The prospects look like saying to you, and I can confidently tell you that if you thought Action SA surprised you in 2021, remember 2021 we contested only 6 municipalities out of the 278, and at the time we contested as a logo. IEC played the dirty one on us, refused to put our name. This time all systems go, all our name, our logo, it's all there. We are contesting all the over 24,000 VD stations throughout the country. That is why I'm confident that Action SA is going to emerge as the biggest surprise to unseat this corrupt, unpatriotic ANC government out of power and usher in a new future for my children and your children.
Herman Mashaba, I think, as I've said before, you take Herman Mashaba, you take Action SA, you take the EFF, you take the ANC, you take the DA, put them in, even the MK, put them in Gauteng, and let them work together and see how they are going to do it, because Gauteng is going to be a coalition government. The ANC has declined massively last time in Gauteng, and it seems like with the growing parties like Action SA and other parties, even Bosa, Mmusi Maimane, Gauteng is for the taking. That is why each and every politician who's speaking about the election, the most and the province that they are all looking at is Gauteng, because they know that that is the business center of South Africa. If we win Gauteng, then we have something that we can speak about. So me says EFF the victor. So obviously voting for the EFF. Let's hear this one.
The queues. I'm trying to divide the queues so that my apology for what had happened. Surnames that start with RAN up until Z, they'll be queuing this way. from letter A up until before R. What is that letter?
Q.
Q will be going this way. So from A up until Q, this way. Surname starting with R up until Z, this way. So
that's at the election center. Okay, I want to play this clip of Jacob Zuma. Remember, Jacob Zuma has complained about the fact that he's getting censored by the ANC and the ENCA. So, fortunately, that video that was done, someone recorded it. And since the SABC decided not to air that interview, so someone was, as you can see, was just shooting that with their cell phone, and they decided to make it public so that people can really listen to what happened. This is the interview that was never aired by the SABC.
Oba manje sisakhankasa asikamele ukukhuluma sakhankasa nje kuphela. In other words, we are still campaigning. We are saying more in the campaign that we are making. I'm sure we'll say more things after that. But however, they have said they needed just to hear what is going on. Now, I'm sure after our appearance in Johannesburg, where we indicated our aims and what we are going to do after winning elections, that story is going to go on and on and on, because we do things. And fortunately, those who are in South Africa who know me in particular, they will know that during the period that I was the president of this country, there were very clear things that I did. And indeed, it was as a result of what I was doing that some people thought I should move off even before finishing my term. But things have gone wrong, in my view. From the organization that I lived for a long time, I reached a point where I could not tolerate it. And I decided to establish a political party so that I can fulfill the desires of the poor, the oppressed, the ones who are suffering more than any in the country. I have therefore been contesting to change this country in many ways. Well, there are many people who are disadvantaged in many ways. Part of that disadvantage is education. There are many kids that cannot finish their schooling, no matter how they feel, because the country is not taking care of them. One of the things we'll do will be enforce free education so that South Africans, all of them, will be educated so that they are in a better position to develop their country, change their country into a better country. But we'll also finish unemployment. Everybody will be employed. We'll create industries throughout the country. Some of the industries will be where the people are, so that we're in a better position to develop and have everybody working. We will also ensure that no small children are sitting and drinking throughout the day. They will all be taken to school. We'll also bring dignity and discipline in the country. That the young people, when they reach the age of 18, they finish matric, they will be taken to military training so that they are taught how to defend the country. That would be absolutely important for us to do to change this country. There will be no city and township. There will be city everywhere. Because I don't understand why there must be a part of certain people which is called something else, while the other one is called something else. We will change this country, change the laws, which are the laws that are not dealing with the majority people of this country. Being known as the Roman Dutch laws. Now, if we've got Romans here in the Dutch, they must have come in. They are not indigenous of these people. We are Africans. We must have African laws. They could mix with others, but we should, because some of these laws are contradictory, as I've been saying when I've been campaigning. But we are going to change the economy of this country. There is a lot that we are going to do to make South Africans happy. That is why we've taken this decision to be part of those who must contest to create a better South Africa. We've been in the struggle for our freedom. And we came to what we call freedom, but not yet complete. We still want to finish that run so that we can say in South Africa, we are happy, all of us. We said this on Saturday to tell people what is it that we want to do. But for us to be able to do this, we have talked to the South African people, black and white, that must win with a 2/3 majority so that it is easy for us to change the status quo, so that there is real freedom. We are all happy. We are all feeling at home. Thank you for the opportunity that you have given to me to say these few words. We'll say more. And when we're in power, we'll even do more. We'll not just say more, we'll do more to make this country a better country for its citizens. Thank you very much.
That is our very own Jacob Zuma. The interview that was not aired by the SABC as he kept on complaining about it. Anyway, I think there are a few leaders who went out to vote also. As you can see, Herman Mashaba, he also voted, casted his vote, hoping to get those results. Songas Wazibi, Rise Mzansi.
2 hours, but it's moving. And I encourage all of you to go and stand in those queues, contemplate your vote for Rise Mzansi, what it means, and what should happen thereafter, and cast your ballot on all 3 ballots. Rise Mzansi, Rise Mzansi, Rise Mzansi, because democracy is important. Democracy needs patience and the opportunity to interact with other people in the queue. But the state of the country and our voting choices is a great opportunity. Let us use it. Let's turn up to vote. Voting stations close at 9 p.m. so there is still time. You can go and do a little bit something yana, and then after lunch you can go back and stand in the queue or go there a bit later. But please vote.
Are you guys voting for Rise Mzansi? Are you giving them your votes? Because they want your votes. As much as there's a lot of talk about the fact that they're being funded by the Oppenheimers, do you think they can represent you? Are you able to give them your vote and have that trust to say that these are the guys who can actually help us and do better? They want to do better for you. Are you willing to give them your vote? That's the question. There is the leadership, the entourage of the DA. Ian Hazen is here.
How did it go? Very good. Quick and easy.
Painless, yeah. Absolutely painless, yeah. It was wonderful.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Thanks for coming to vote.
They killed in the squash.
Hello, sorry about that. Sorry about the bus. How are you doing? Thanks for coming to vote. Hey? How's it? How you been? Thanks for coming to vote. How did it go?
I thought they said don't wear your political party colors when you go out to vote. What is going on here by the ANC? Another comment, Henry Mgambi from Kenya, Malema wins. Unfortunately, brother, it might not be as easy as you say. If you were able to vote, I'm sure you would have made a huge difference by casting your vote. As you say that the radical voice for the poor and working class, meet President Julius Malema, meet the incoming president of South Africa, Julius Malema, who recently had a sit down with Leadership Magazine, Professor J.J. Tabane. The following is an extract from that interview. So, the incoming president of South Africa, do you guys agree or not? The EFF says this is the new president that will be having from June. Our new president, Julius Malema. And here is another one, Ronald Lamola of the ANC.
We don't agree that they should be disfranchised because voting is for every human being, whether prisoner or no prisoner. That human being deserves a right to exercise their democratic right to have a voice. As you are aware, some of them will be released one day. So they need to participate in the direction of their country, in the political life of their country. And it is also a process of rehabilitation because they are now participating in constructing a society that they also want. This also helps themselves in terms of rehabilitation, but also for society to welcome them the date they are released. We don't agree.
This one really failed with the issue of Guptas. I don't think they should retain him as a minister if really they win the election, because failure is what they know. Failure is what they are all about. And I mean, that's what has been happening. We've been failed by the ANC so many times. There is our Secretary General, Mr. Fikile Mbalula. I'm sure he has already voted also. John Steenhuisen again. And Matamela is here. Matamela is here also. He mustn't make a mistake and vote for AIC instead of ANC. You know, those mistakes happen. And
are we?
We're definitely winning. 60%.
Really?
60?
Yeah. What's your feeling?
You feel it?
I'm 60% definitely. Yeah.
This laughter might be the last thing they would be remembering once they realize that the possibility of 60% is not going to happen. There is no way that South Africans are going to give ANC 50%, let alone 50%. There's no way. I mean, this is not those times when they were powerful. Now the ANC is a weak bull.
What's your feeling?
You feel it?
I'm 60% definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel it too.
We definitely.
So Ramaphosa is feeling 60%. He better tell us what he says when they realize that the results are way, way below that 60% that they are predicting. And here are the EFF student. You know, as I said, if a lot of students, a lot of young people vote for the EFF in numbers, the EFF really, they might become a game changer. Look at this. The movement of young people in the EFF is something to admire. And they're all having that voice to say that we are voting for the EFF regardless of what.
Simply because, greetings voters, my name is Lucky Slevu. I'm going to vote for EFF simply because I would like Julius Malema, when he becomes the president of this country, to first thing fight the corruption that is within the country. The second one, demolish the Western-centered institutions that are favoring the minorities over the majorities.
An EFF voter. Here's an ANC voter.
Bayekeni bahlangane bazaphinde bahlukane. Laba bahlangana ngo-ANC hayi bayadlala. Bayadlala mntanami bazaphinde bahlukane. Esikananko unamhlanje zakade kuthiwe wenzile. Kudilika ntaba sisela amanzi. Kudilika ntaba sisela amanzi asikananko unamhlanje zakade kuthiwe wenzile.
There's one thing you can't separate. You cannot separate the EFF from young people, and you cannot separate the ANC from old people. And the ANC with their old people, they're always winning. That is where young people really need to stop sitting at home and say that I'm not voting. They need to go out in numbers and vote. Because if they do that, then maybe the challenge, maybe the balance would make sense, because the ANC older, the EFF encourage the young people to go and vote. We might see something interesting coming. As I said, guys, who are you guys voting for? So far, there's a lot of people who are saying that they're voting for the EFF. I haven't seen anyone saying the ANC. Is there no one who's willing to vote for the ANC, though? Or the people who are voting for the ANC are not in the comments, they are on the queue. Let's see, where is this? Long queues at a voting station here in Sandton. HNSA leader Herman Mashaba. Okay. That's where the rich stay. You can see that rich people are voting here in Sandton. And they're going out in numbers. That's good to see. Wow, the queue is long. You see the difference? These rich people are going to make decisions on who they want in office. And the poor, some of them are sitting at home saying that, hey, I don't see anything that the government is doing. I don't trust this politician. I'm sitting at home. You sit at home, you let people go and vote. And once you don't see changes, once the ANC wins again, you go and say that, well, Ramaphosa is not doing anything. But you were sitting at home not going to vote. if we really work together, if these rich people go and vote, if we all go and vote, young and old, I'm sure something is going to happen. That which we need to see, it's probably going to happen. Zimbabwe never really realized their own freedom from Robert Mugabe because he became the president until he died. If there are Zimbabweans who wanted Robert to leave, they've been failing to do that. Same as that us in the ANC. In South Africa, if we want ANC to leave and we don't make decisions, luckily for us, there's no one who's beating us. There are no policemen who are beating us, forcing us to vote for a certain party. But if we still cannot make a decision to make sure that the party we want wins, we might as well just keep quiet and not complain, because the most important thing is making a decision. Even if that decision you made doesn't count much, going out and vote so that it can be counted.
Revolutionary greetings. My name is Fighter Inamula, the provincial convener of the Mlungika Donzela Battalion in the province of the Western Cape. The province where it was the entry point of colonialism on our continent, the province where the racist and the Zionist DA treat like our people like they are garbage. So we are here today to demonstrate that the EFF is alive and well in the province of the Western Cape. And come tomorrow, 29 May, we are taking the Commander-in-Chief, Silo Julius Malema, to the Union Building, and we are taking back our land. Manja!
They're taking Julius Malema to the Union Building. Kariba says we are voting MK, and Tamba says vote for EFF. Still, I haven't seen the ANC. Is no one... Oh, okay, that could be the ANC, that green and... Like, you're voting for the ANC or the MK because, hey, they almost have the same colors. Then who's this?
Ngonyama Mandebele wonke kazuza kaMmusi esigodlweni kwamaza eStoffberg eBlank.
And here is our Busisi Mkhwebane. Let's hear what Mkhwebane... Oh no, she voted yesterday on the 27th. I think the special votes. Make sure you voted the EFF, Mkhwebane. We don't want to see a mistake where you voted the ANC instead of the EFF.
Into another envelope, then we seal it. Okay? Then I'm going to throw it into...
How the times have changed. What we see Mkhwebane now comrades. How the times have changed. Hey, politics, something else. So MK, EFF, where is the ANC? Who's voting for the ANC? Mmusi Maimane. Is anybody going to be voting for Mmusi Maimane? Because I'm sure he also wants the votes, as he has already casted his vote. He's hoping that he's going to be the next president of South Africa. Let's hear what he says.
Today is a historic day. Make sure you're part of it. Today is an opportunity to usher in change. Today is a chance to choose a new future for our country where we can build together. And I'm encouraging South Africans. Today, express change. Because we can't live without electricity, we can't live without unemployment, we can't live with crime, we can't live with a failing education. Let's vote. But let's also vote to remind ourselves, our children will remember today. When our children will look back at this day, they must be able to stand up and say, Mama, Papa, brother, sister, you did the right thing by voting for Bossa, because ultimately today things change.
Thank you.
Today is a historic day. Make sure you're part of it. Today is an opportunity to usher in change. Today is a chance to choose a new future for our country where we can build together. And I'm encouraging South Africans. Today, express change. Because we can't live without electricity, we can't live without unemployment, we can't live with crime, we can't live with a failing education. Let's vote. But let's also vote to remind ourselves, our children will remember today. When our children will look back at this day, they must be able to stand up and say, Mama, Papa, brother, sister, you did the right thing by voting for Bossa, because ultimately today things change.
Thank you.
And actually, I was checking the list of qualifications of these leaders, and Mmusi Maimane is ranking so high in terms of qualifications. If qualifications can give you a pass to become a president, we should be having him as the president. He's really, really qualified in all aspects, and he's a good leader. But going to school doesn't mean you are a good leader. Zuma didn't go to school. Zuma was the leader of this country for 2 terms, almost finished second term. And there are good things to say about Zuma. As much as people focus on the bad, but there are also good things to say about him. And each and every president, they have the good and the bad. Unfortunately, in the ANC, corruption was always the worst thing. If there was no corruption in the ANC, I'm sure we would keep voting for them year in, year out. But because even the president of South Africa, the current one, he was caught up in all scandals of corruption. That's when we really realized that it looks like they are all the same. They are not different. All of them are engaged in corruption. So really, it's just so unfortunate that the ANC cannot get rid of corruption. Even if they want to, they keep doing that. That's how Julius Malema was dressed on the 25th when they were doing their last rally in Polokwane. He said, I'm dressed like a president because I'm going to Union Building. That is where I'm going. And the EFF says that today it is today that we must remember the 3-year-old girl who died after the inverter keeping her breathing machine on ran out of battery power due to load shedding. We must remember against forgetting. Yeah, load shedding. But with load shedding, the ANC made sure that they keep the lights on. And there were rumors that lights are going to be going off after elections. The ANC was quick. Even the presidency, that's the first time I saw the presidency tweeting about such things. They went further to say that those things are fake news. There's no such thing as load shedding coming back. Even Eskom went to tweet about that, and I was like, they know very well that if people know that it's coming back, they might lose this because no one will want to vote for them. So the ANC is very strategic. They know what they are doing. Even if we want to say that the ANC will lose, the ANC is weak, those people know how to use the instrument. They are using load shedding to make sure that they are giving us hopes that is going to work. So if you are sitting there thinking, I'm not voting for the ANC, and you think about load shedding, they want you to remember that they are capable of making sure that load shedding is gone forever. But too little, too late, the ANC. People are really not thinking about voting for you. That's our very own John Steenhuisen, John Vulligate. He has casted his vote, voting for Patriotic Alliance because he knows that the DA has lost their mojo. Here's
to the final counting. It is also to escort the papers to the final counting station. There will be no ballot papers that will go without the escort. But the communication must be improved by the IEC to make the call on the members of the South African police or any law enforcement. There are areas where there will be the SANDF, not too many of them, because there is no war in the country. Police are adequate unless there is an extra thing that can be needed and make the cause for the SANDF to be invited. But in other areas, it will be metro. For instance, all material in Gauteng as we speak is by the JMPD, and Here in Durban again, Metro is also utilized to escort those. As you know, that they are law enforcement. It is also to escort the papers to the final.
Just on the issue of IEC and ballot papers, I saw a tweet. I'm not sure if I can get it. Let me see. Look, so I saw a tweet about something in Mudimolle where ballot papers were lost. Not sure if I can still recover it. Okay, I've got it. Let's just see this. Let's just hear what's going on here.
Pitinyana Una Pizza Plaza. It's a voting station. All of these boxes had voting slips. There were votes of people inside these boxes. All of these boxes, they've all been destroyed. They all have seals. All of them have seals. They were opened. They were assembled and destroyed. So no one is explaining to us from the IEC officials. Those are empty boxes which we were not informed. No political party was informed that they were doing anything with. This box has been signed on the outside and there is no seal, but the box has already been signed. There is a seal and a seal number. This is Mudimolle Mokopong municipality. This is Mudimolle Mokopong IEC. This is the current situation we are facing. The IEC officials are giving us the nastiest attitude. They refuse to speak to us. They have locked themselves inside the offices. I don't know if they want to sleep here. There is no pillows here. And some of the presiding officers here are well-known people of the community who align themselves to a specific party. We all know which party that is. They've already started stealing votes. They've already started stealing votes. This is a box here. No one told us that there will be boxes that will be thrown away. Nothing has been taken into account. There is a tape here also to show that they can tamper with any box they wish to.
It seems like every election there will be incidences of some ballot papers that went missing, open ballot papers. Some of them were just thrown away. Each and every year, each and every time there are elections, we have these stories. So hopefully the IEC can be able to clarify whatever that is going on there, because that's the last thing you want to do. Bodiax Primary School in Randburg, a long queue of voters patiently waiting to cast their ballots in the ongoing election. Let's see. It's good to see that a lot of people are going out in numbers. Obviously, it's going to go on until 9 p.m. So we're expecting to see more and more people voting until it is 9 p.m. They can even extend by 1-2 hours when that time reach if there are still a lot of people who are going to vote. I mean, if you are registered, just make sure you vote. I mean, there's nothing else that we want. Just go out and vote, because you are making a difference. You are okay, what is this now? Reason why the EFF will never run. The country fighters go there and become ungovernable. I urge every MK and EFF members to vote like this. Because, well, if you really vote like this, I would hope this is a joke. If you go out and vote like this, they are not going to take this vote. They are going to put it aside. It's no longer being counted because Yelemur, and then you go and vote for the EFF. If you do this, it's a spoiled vote. So anyone who thinks that they would be funny, and I don't know if a person went and voted like this, took a picture, how did they do it? Because the IEC doesn't play. They don't want you to take a picture and then they're promising to take you to jail, to arrest you. But somehow they went and decided to say Jelemur to the DA, which is funny, I won't lie. But how are you spoiling your paper? Voting for the EFF and just spoiling that vote. Next thing, we get surprised when we are told that, well, the EFF didn't get enough votes. People were going and writing nonsense there. That's how unserious we are about life sometimes. And things like this shouldn't be done because you are spoiling important votes. Let's hear what Ngizwe says here.
Facebook before TikTok.
Manini uyakho polish ofaka ekhanda lembongolo ngithi mina simple. Now is the time of reality. I-reality ithi asivotele i-ANC bafethu asikwazi ukushintsha izwe ngamaqembu awu-400 athi aphikisana ne-ANC wonke ayezicucu ze-ANC ayizicucu zobandlululo ayiyenzi sense leyo nto leyo. Ama-coalition government akasebenzaphi? Iyasebenza kuRuleni, iyasebenza eThekwini. Lokade noma mzandile gumede ukuthi kube nemeya eThekwini. Lo mfana lo usezowawo lo umntanga yethu lo usezowampunga uthiwa ngathi usekhanda la ngekhanda lokuthiwa uxhuza umkhawundi ukhawundi ngamgcina sesebenza ngo-transport mina
Facebook ayekho ama-comment
wade uphile sesebenza ngo-transport ngendlela istress esimphethe la
Ngawuthumela guys ama-comments lapho ama-message imibuzo
ekuruleni dysfunctional lapha kube kuyiphara elifana nawe zozo lapha
khona la sawubona kwethu balandela
the most unserious man ever. Ngizwe is not serious.
kwethu ngupresident amabhinqa lana le mbuzo leni lokhu nibhala kuma-comments sithi ake niyibuze live la iphendula.
Mina ngifuna ukubuza icingwane lishintshe nini? Lishintshe emveni kokuba mhlangano nabaholi bachaza isimo nami bengakwazi ngoba nani ningakwazi okunye niyokuzwa ngami. Ngeke siyakhala bodwa. Nikhalani manini okay ke niyakhala shintshani ke ngifuna ukubonana. Imali akisibonela sokushintsha isibonile leThekwini ukuthi siyasebenza eGoli eJohannesburg siyasebenza ekuruleni siyasebenza neNelson Mandela Bay phela mina ngincengile mina umholi uthatha abantu abasela kufanele bebeke khona hayi lapho abafuna ukuya khona nina mangifuna ukuntaza nesasasa kulungile ntazana nesasasa kodwa ningangibali lapho njengomholi ninothi waye kuphi engasaluleki.
Okay khona la
ningantaze nesasasa
sathi nangomuntu sawubona wagada
asebenzi ngesasasa asebenza ngereality.
Sawubona
ucabangi mina ngiyathanda mina njengoba ngithi ANC hotel nje angithandi nami personally ngiyangithanda kodwa manje ireality nobuholi bami ngikubona kuyaphopha ukuthi ngikhuluma into okuyiyona mawa ngibuze kujuleni ukuthi izwe yami nami ngifisa ngenye indlela kodwa idivorce kade kuyenza isebenzeni
yiphi indlela ofisa ngayo wasungidida manje
ukuthi ANC hotel yena ndlela ngifisa ngazo
sawubona mfethu uyaphila
mabholo nizingane konje.
I don't know this guy Ngizwe. He's never serious and he's claiming to lead the people, but Ngizwe is never serious, man. He's full of jokes, but anyway, the ANC took advantage and brought him forward where he was encouraging the people to vote for the ANC. And you might think that things like this don't matter, but they matter a lot. If the ANC really takes someone like Ngizwe and say that come and encourage the people to vote, and he continues to do that, a small percentage will go and vote for the ANC. And it's a small change, but every vote counts. And this one says that you have to go and vote for the ANC, as we saw him with the President Ramaphosa. You know, money talks, and they will give you money, people like the president. Anyway, Julius, on Sunday. Sorry, let me just take down the volume. On Sunday, Julius was in, I think it's Hammond or something like that, where he was speaking at church. And here is Julius.
So ke rile bishop a re list ya go ba short time ka mona then re tla ilukisha re lokishe jwa go la ile kwa bakhala ba na le TV ka kwa bakhala ba na ka mo ba khakolo ba na TV ke re bishop ya go ba khakolo ba na TV sa go college Sakote karata bareke yaro hawa skaba TV wall ikata no sa ariga ke fela ya TV aba the list yaro batwale ba ne wan tofo anya abu zunya karani ni nyana nerna na yo na cheti mara na we khopela more khopela kuna na ba re tseba ba challenge ke na le ba ka kulushi ba 75 re khopela hore le ba fe 1 2 3 4 na le ka bujisha mo ke sa ba mona a ke bolele ntlo ka CD e ka ba ka e bolela ke phetha ai ha a ke le di vote how I get it before the vote. Mero kwa mkutula kino feta fela ukara sike polisi anga kwa bana le mero kwa mkutula kinyo mutenya le to numa polisi ya kopela le tobo bele mchuba kabulu wale basika trainiwa ube le PC le baba ni kuziba basika rukela le nas chama le wabujo kamula into ya mrena usara rukela ukarukwela kakwa wakoba na mawasha
That's Julius Malema. So I just saw on Twitter also Bantu Holomisa has voted for the UDM for the 10th time, trying to remain or trying to gain the spot as the Premier of Eastern Cape. Dreams do come true, but this one is never going to come true. More like Meshwe, Holomisa needs to go and sit down and say that I'm done being the president. I want someone to take over. But because there is never elective conference for such parties like the UDM, Abo Kenneth Meshwe, they never leave their seats because they know that no one can challenge them. If we don't go and vote for new leadership, how are we going to vote out Bantu Holomisa? Because UDM is Bantu. Bantu is UDM. I'm saying this because the EFF in December is going to be voting. I'm not sure if Julius is going to say, I'm sitting this one out if he doesn't win, or he's still going to be the leader of EFF regardless of what. Anyway, guys, so far this is what's going on. And I think I'm just going to take a break. We're probably going to do another stream just before Julius votes. And I think 11:45, we're going to do another live stream. But this one, we're going to end it. We're going to watch as Julius Malema will be voting. Probably we're going to do it live. Guys, until around 12, please take care. Cheers. And I love being. Fuck this shit.